Hello, everybody. I wanted to offer you a journal prompt for the topic that your class pulled the highest for, which is called learning. Um, yeah, and I think that makes sense. You're a student, right? And this could be extremely valuable to you. And in fact, it's even valuable to me as I take some time to study, reflect, and think about what I know as a teacher. Yet, the science is always changing and the possibilities are always renewing. So this is a great opportunity for me to re-update about learning. So I'm going to call this how we learn and how we make things stick. In other words, how can we retain it, remember it, and particularly recall it when we need to. If you're thinking about going on to college, this is extremely valuable to you. If you're staying and finishing up high school, this is valuable to you. If you plan to do other things in your life not related to school, you will still want to learn, whatever it is: music, art, traveling, reading, whatever it is you're going to want to constantly, I suspect, learn. A big piece of fuel to have is what we call curiosity. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to go through some basic steps to assess today what you're doing. And the first step is this. And we're going to talk about what's called pseudo work versus real. So pseudo is kind of like an imposter, a fake, a stand-in, but it's truly not real. And I think a lot of us do pseudo work. In other words, we're there in the moment. However, where is your effort and your attention over time on one thing? If you're multitasking, you're doing pseudo work. If you're there with your cell phone, trying to do your thing, you're doing pseudo work. If you have all these things around you that are garnering for your attention, people, music with lyrics, that is going to draw your attention away and you're likely going to do pseudo work. So, what is work? Real work. Two things: time invested and intensity. So if you can't, intensity is going to be basically put on by not being pseudo. You got to be real with it. Okay. So we're going to look at that today and we're going to check this out. So for your journal, you want to be doing four things. Okay. I know this is a bit small, so do your best with it. The first one is describe your current learning style. How is it that you go about learning? What excites you? What doesn't work? How do you think you're doing in terms of learning right now? Consider all your conditions. Three main things: when are you doing it? Where? And for how long? So this would be a good way to describe it. Okay. Then you want to address these next three things in terms of how can I optimize my opportunity for learning over time. Okay. It's a scaled thing, it's a marathon. You continue to practice this, it will have major payoff. And learning, believe it or not, is much like a muscle. So the more you use it, the more you practice it, the more variety you give it, the better you do get at it. So number one, how can you optimize your learning environment? So consider where you are in your home. When are you actually taking the time to learn? Typically, for most people, if you're rested, is switching to the morning. If you work in the morning, it gives your later part of the day less effort, less energy. In the morning, that's when your energy, believe it or not, is likely optimized. So think about how can you make it a win, and additionally, thinking about a routine for it to make it um, consistent. Okay, so write about that. Number two, where? Where is your personal isolation space? Look now. Are you in a quiet place? Are you in a place that's not full of things around you to distract you? Is your phone in a different place? Um, what do you have out that is going to be what's called a time waster? If you walk into an Apple store, They just have computers and cell phones. It's very simple. Everything's laid out. Why? You can concentrate on that one thing. So same with this. You want to think about your personal space. How could you optimize it so you'll be able to focus on one thing, work on it with high intensity over time. Third, how long? So often learning, you want to work in chunks. So for example, work for an hour, take a break. Work for another hour, take a break, right? Go eat lunch, work for another hour, take a break, go outside, get some fresh air, get some exercise, go play with your phone, whatever it is. But the key here is keeping all distractions away and work for chunked time. Okay, so just to wrap it up for your journal, describe your current learning style. In other words, when, where, and how is that going? Be honest. This is your journal, okay? This is for you. Then address how can you optimize when, how can you optimize where, and how can you best shift it up so you're doing long of time invested chunks with high intensity. It will pay off. Okay, so that's what I got for you. Good luck. Enjoy your journaling. Take an opportunity to think about your learning and to make it the best that it can be. Okay, goodbye now.